Uh-oh. Hey y'all, it's me, Delores, the pastor's daughter. What's going on? Look, y'all, I'm being so extra. What's going on, y'all? So, listen, I'm back. I've been gone for 2 days. 2 whole days, y'all. I've been gone for 2 days. Have y'all missed me? I missed y'all. So tell me you missed me. Okay. Listen, okay, so you guys know we have been doing a review of Princella the Queen Maker and her interview on Sonetter's channel, right? And tell me why I went to pull it up today so we can do part 5, right? Because we've done 4 parts already. So I pulled it up so we could do part 5. Tell me why, y'all, that video has been taken down. I don't know why it's been taken off the internet, but it has been. Okay. So from what I can see, the only parts of that video that you're going to be able to see is what I showed in my live broadcast. Okay. But fear not. Okay. Because this woman's message is something that needs to be amplified. And so there was another video that Princella the Queen Maker did, and that is the birth of the Black male psychosis. And I think that this is one of those videos that's probably going to rub some of y'all the wrong way. Okay. Like, so, I mean, I'm just going to be honest about it. It's going to rub some of y'all the wrong way, but you need to hear it. I know that you probably are going to be thinking, right? Now, what you're probably thinking, okay, so how is the pastor's daughter, you know, talking about Princella the Queen Maker and in agreement? Okay. That's first of all, in agreement with what she's saying. Um, this is why. Because my father is a narcissistic pastor. He abused his family, abused his congregation in churches both overseas in Germany and in the United States, you guys, right? And I witnessed this my entire life. Um, I tried to do everything I can, right, as a daughter, as a woman. The same thing that all of us women are doing is just trying to do our part to make things better, right? To make the men in our lives better. And so I did those things as my father's daughter. I served in the church. I was a praise and worship leader. I led the youth, mentored the youth. I did all the things. And nothing seemed to work. Um that nature, right? The guy, the man who was a bad kid. Okay, listen. Some people are just born bad, and I think my father might have been one of them. But that person, like that nature, that violence, the gang banging, the pimping, all of that stuff I saw in my father, even across the pulpit. And of course, when you think, okay, this is where a person comes from, then you're like, okay, well, eventually God is going to work those things out, right? Eventually God is going to, you know soften him, or make him see the error of his ways, or use those experiences to really like help other people. Not that it would be 30, 35, 40 years later and this man is retelling these stories of things he did when he was pimping and gang banging and doing drugs and selling drugs, and he's reliving them as if these were his glory days. And he's like, yeah, like I did it and I'll go back to it, if I'm provoked, which brings me to the title of my memoir book, right? Is The Pastor's Daughter Provoked? And this speaks to the situation in so many ways, is that we think that because a person has shown some change, right? They have maybe tapered off in maybe their worst instincts, right? And their worst nature, that somehow they have really changed, that is indicative of, a changed heart, right? Or a changed mind. Like a saved person would do, right? Like, people when they say in the Bible, like, when you have the Holy Ghost, there's evidence of it, right? That you live in a changed life, and all of these things, right? But there are times when people display this change only because that's what they use to manipulate you, to control you, to weaken your defenses so that you put your guard down. Because he couldn't come to you as a pimp on the street. He couldn't come to you as a gangbanger. Instead, he comes to you as a pastor, doing the same things, living the same way, running the same game, but just wearing a different mask. But he relives and retells these stories because he wants you to know that if you provoke him, then that nature is just right behind the mask. And that nature is what I saw growing up. That is what I saw behind the scenes. Hey, Cuzzo. Hey, Cuzzo, thank you for joining. I'm going to end the Facebook. Hey, you guys, come over to my channel. I'm on Facebook, on YouTube. I got a couple of channels on YouTube, a couple of channels on Facebook. So just find this live. I'm gonna end this one here. And I love you guys. Bye-bye for now. So yeah. So I'll go right back, right? I'll go right back to that nature, to the man that left the streets, right? But the streets didn't leave him. I'll go right back to that if I'm pushed, right? If I'm provoked to live in my true nature. And so Princella the Queenmaker, her message really resonates with me because she talks about the nature of a male, right? And she makes a distinction between men and males, right? A man and a male. Because I know like a lot of people get their feelings all wrapped up in it because she says the males are incapable of love. She talks about the nature of a male and how that is pretty animalistic. And and I resonate with this so much. And I feel the need to amplify this message so much because I see how it played out in a church setting. And really one of my concerns is that people will hear her message and then they will think, okay, well, I'm just going to go to the church, and I'm going to find me, the man that obviously is different, right? It's not this way. I'm gonna go to the church and find me a different man, right? Because I mean, he's in the church. And so I'm here to say, well, look, like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not gonna go to the church and find a different man or a different male. You are gonna go to the church and find the same male or worse. Because now this person has perfected the art of deception. They've perfected the art of manipulation. And not only that, but because of the role that they play, they are given like all the access. Like who else? Who else in any other profession? You can't even say a counselor has as much access as a pastor does. You can't. No one is given more access than a pastor or a religious leader. That person has access to your kids. They have access to your money. They know how much money you got coming in, where the money's going, the decisions you're trying to make, the problems you having in your marriage, the problems you got with your kids. Like they know everything. And when a person knows that much about you and they're a deceiver, what you think they're using against you? The very information and access that you gave them. And you're going to give it to a pastor because they're a pastor. That's it. That's all. You're not looking for like proof or requirements. Like a lot of these pastors aren't even educated. They simply got out of prison and put up a sign that says they're a pastor, and y'all will go. You'll go. You'll give them all your money, unrestricted and unmanaged access to your kids. They're giving you marriage counseling while they're steady beating their own wives. They're giving you advice on how to be a parent to your kid, but their kids don't even like them. But you do it, why? Because they're a pastor. Because they use religion, they use faith, they use that position to trick you, to manipulate you, to exploit you, to control you, to abuse you. Do you really feel like he hid it from you though, Cuzzo? Do you really feel like he hid it? Let's pull this up. This is Princella, the Queen Maker, and this is when she's just. I'm starting it at like at the 17 and some change, that mark in the video, and I have a link to the video in the description. So if you want to go find it and watch it for yourself, uninterrupted, because I will be stopping it to give my commentary. So if you want to go watch it, excuse me, without my commentary or uninterrupted or whatever, um please feel free to do so. I highly recommend that you go and subscribe. She does, as you can see, like this live broadcast is 3 hours, 3.5 hours, y'all. So she does like some super long broadcasts, but you know it's jam packed with really good information, that's backed by research, backed by science, and really backed by the people who end up calling into the show, proving proving her very points. So I definitely highly recommend that you guys go and watch that. And you said he was always making jokes with me, so I thought, yeah. Hmm. Yep, another tactic. Just another tactic. And that's the thing, sometimes when you get people to laugh, that's another way of weakening their defenses. I did a video when right around the time I first started my channel. So if you guys want to go back and look at it, it's actually my most watched video. So you'll probably see it under like my most watched or something like that. And I talk about tickle torture, and how my father used tickling. And in fact, he was tickling me. And that is my very first um, encounter with him being physically violent towards me. And so I really encourage you guys to, go watch it, because, people use tickling as grooming, to groom kids. Um, and then there is actually a thing called tickle torture, where where tickling has been used to get like people to prisoners to talk, or just stuff like that. I mean, it's weird. It's very, very weird. Yeah. I told you about that. I told you about the tickling. Yep. Yep. Child. I didn't even remember I had told you about it. But yeah, it's really a thing. And I didn't even know about the tickle torture stuff until I started writing my book, and I was just trying to make sense of like what he was doing, you know. Um so that's when I started looking it up, and I was like, tickle torture is really a thing, y'all. Like, it's really a thing. That's crazy.
New
Let's
ladies,
get into this video. Oh, that's I told you in Heflin.
I say a lot of stuff
It's crazy.
that the world ain't came to recognize as true yet, because I'm a little bit ahead of my time. So right now, or at least a couple months ago, people was calling me crazy. People was calling me crazy a few months ago. Before the white dude came out, it's a white dude that came out and said something about men. He ain't never met a man that could love, right? I've been telling women that men are not capable of love for a little bit now. For a little bit now. And when I first said it, People call me crazy. Well, that's my hand, y'all. That's what it looked like now. That's what it looked like now. But it's fine. It's fine. They was calling me crazy. But people who can't see what you see will always call you crazy because they have a limited understanding, because people lean on their own understanding. So when you know what you know, because you know you're not following the crowd and you have a mind of your own and you can think for yourself, it don't matter what people say. Because at some point, people are going to come to the realization that what I'm telling them is 1,000% true. Not 100% true, but 1,000% true, right? Not only do I say this, I can back it up, and I do back it up. I am the author of a book called The 5 Components of Love. I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. I don't got it on hand. Oh, there it is.
Speaking of which, you guys, I have her book, and I think that we should do a I think we should do a review. I think we should do a review. Because one of the things that I really picked up on growing up is that my father didn't love people. I knew that. And I don't even really know how I knew, especially because like how would I really know that, But like I mean, obviously he would say things, and he would do things, but he would profess his love for people all the time. And he would do nice things too for people sometimes. But I always knew like that like that was his way of getting his way. So it's like um sometimes when nice things or good things would happen to people, it was because they it just so happened to. Like maybe he was doing something for himself and then maybe other people were like blessed, as a result, right? But it wasn't necessarily for their benefit, it was for his, right? And then sometimes he would do stuff for people, like nice things for people, right? But I always knew that it came from a place of like exploitation or um he was doing that so that he could get something from them. And maybe it would be like years. My father played the long game, okay? Like it may be years before he ever asked you for something in return, but you were, he would go ahead and plant that seed. And so I knew like based on like certain things that he was doing and the way he was moving that he just did not love people. Like he didn't love the people that was in the church. He didn't love his family, but sometimes he act like it. And then of course, sometimes he didn't. Which was like it kind of left me like in a state of a bit of confusion like growing up to see like these dynamics between him but not really be able to like have a real good understanding of what was happening. And I've, overheard different conversations that my parents had. And I heard my father say before that he didn't really like love. And this was something I think that maybe he came to the realization of, or just not maybe even realization, but like maybe he just admitted it, you know? But it was something that I always felt. This is weird. But I'm going to continue as we continue watching the video to make this connection for you, because I think that when you think of me as Dolores the pastor's daughter and you think of Princella the queen maker, you think that our messages are probably different. And and I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think our approach is different, but I think the message is the same. And I think that listening to her has made me realize, validated, first of all, what I already knew, but also made me realize that in this day, in this time that we're in right now, we need people like her, people like me, people like some of you who are really going to use their voices and use their experiences to alert. Because what is happening is that we have a culture, a society where discernment is a buzzword, right? But people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to activate it. They don't use it. But you constantly have people telling you, well, use your discernment, make a better decision, choose better, right? But at the same time, there is so much deception out there that people don't really know how to discern the truth from the lies. And at this point, it's not even as easy as discerning the truth from the lies, it's discerning the truth from the almost truth. It's discerning the truth from a little bit of truth so that the lie doesn't really sound like a lie. Discerning the truth between, well, if he sprinkle a little bit of lie in there, then I'll support the whole person or the whole mission or the whole church or the whole whatever it is. And so we are giving our money, we're giving our time, we're giving access to people and to entities that are harming people. These are, on the underhanded side of things, these are your sex trafficking rings. These are your, drug kingpins and all kinds of stuff. These are your cult leaders. These are people who are doing real harm to people. And because they sprinkle a little bit of truth in there with the lies, we are accepting that because we are not discerning the difference. And I don't want anyone to think, right? Because Princella, like, she talks about church stuff, right? She talks about religion. And that, oh, I'm gonna answer you in just a sec, Will. But or side thought, my bad. But I just forgot what I said when I read your message. Um, I don't want people to think that they can just go to the church and have a different result. Because when you think of the access that a spiritual leader is given, that makes them more dangerous than the person that maybe on your job who is a religious narcissist or abusive, right? They're more dangerous because they have more access. They have more trust, blind trust. And then they use your belief system, which is the way people really determine like their purpose, right? Their reason for being on this earth, what they're supposed to do in their life, right? There's a hierarchy of needs here, right? And if you are deceived at a low level, then you'll never reach the higher heights of your hierarchy of needs. You'll never reach it. And so when you see that there is an agenda to make sure that people don't have proper food, right? Which is a need. That they don't have, certain things that are basic needs, then they'll be so busy trying to get those things that they never reach the higher levels of their purpose, their calling, their gifting, the core of who they are. And then when you have a religious narcissist, their whole design or their whole purpose is to keep you from knowing who you are, who you were created to be. They do more harm than a person who even just hits you. And it's not just hits you. I don't want me to minimize any of that. When a person reaches into or impacts the spirit of who you are, which is who you are, right? Then you are really left with nothing. You're really left with no purpose. Why are you even here? Why are you created? Let's continue. But you said, did he like me? No. No, he didn't. I mean, I don't recall, a lot of the things that he said about you, but I do know he talked about you. He didn't like you at all. He didn't like anybody. He didn't like anybody. He talked about everybody. His most faithful members, the ones who gave the most, the ones who did the most. He didn't care. He didn't care at all. He didn't love people. He didn't like people. In fact, there was a time like growing up, I was like, well, my father, I thought like, well, he's kind of racist, but he's not really racist because he doesn't like anybody. Like he's like equally racist against everybody. He don't like anybody. He don't. He was just a master manipulator. That's what I wrote in my book, is that he was really able to make people feel good. He made people feel loved. He made people feel valued. He made people feel seen. He would always put people to work in the church, like as soon as they walked in the door, it was the whole love bombing is when is happened. Oh, we need you, God brought you here, all of the things, and put people to work immediately. But that was part of the game. That was part of his tactics. Let's continue. Oop.
Hold on.
Uh-oh, where you going?
Then women, they live in a totally different world than you live in. They see the world mentally differently than you do. The abilities that you have, they don't have as a whole, which makes their world drastically different than yours. And because it's drastically different, they have to behave in a way that's different from your behavior. You, as a woman, are born practically with the ability to get all of your needs met with ease. But you, as a woman, you are actually a whole person until society destroys you. You're actually born whole until the world of patriarchy destroys you and brings you down. The male is not born whole. The male is here to try to consume resources. I'm sorry, sweetheart. You, as a woman, as a female, are a resource to men. And they have to figure out how to acquire you. You don't necessarily have to figure out how to acquire a man, because they did come a dime a dozen. Ooh, shit, alliteration. Wait a minute, that was alliteration. Ooh, English, dick come a dime a dozen. Oh, triple D. Triple D, right? Dick come a dime a dozen, right? Right? Punani don't come a dime a dozen. And they need you. So they have studied you. This was the first book to come out about female psychology and how to use the female after slavery. After the Negro male got free, this was the game. This was the book. They been studying your ass while you running around here listening to dumbass femininity coaches that don't know what the fuck they talking about. Dumbass femininity coaches that don't know what the hell they talking about.
Okay. Don't know
But
what they talking
Iceberg
about at all.
Slim done wrote the game on you. And then you wonder why your ass getting played. Not only did Iceberg Slim write some game on your ass, Pimpin' Ken did too. Where's your book? Where the fuck is your book on male psychology?
I got one. I got one.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can find your book on them. Hold on. Let me just see if I got something up here.
Okay. Look. Since you're talking about it, let me go and plug my book. Okay.
Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature, that ain't yours.
And I'm gonna plug this one.
Robert Greene, Data Law, that ain't yours.
Cause that's coming out in August, y'all.
Fuck. Psycho-Cybernetics, that ain't y'all.
I ain't playing no games.
Damn.
I ain't playing no
Phallic
games.
worship, that ain't you. Damn. Shit. Y'all don't got no damn books about. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. I think I might have something.
I got something, sis.
Oh, shit.
Tell me
Pimpin'
get my
Ken.
book, sis.
Another book on y'all silly ass women. Huh? Hold on.
Ooh, child.
How many books did Pimpin' Ken sell? I want to know. Somebody got to have. Somebody got. Oh, shit. I done found one. I done finally found one. What did I find, Princella? Princella, what the hell did you find? What you find, Princella? Why men love bitches.
Oh my God.
Why men love bitches. You know what? Even though you got this book, this don't help. You know why this don't help? Because it still subtly teach your ass to be a pick-me chasing crumbs. This book kind of still teach you to be a pick-me chasing crumbs. It's got some truth in it, a whole bunch of truth, but it's coming from the wrong angle. So the only other book that I know about that give you Pimpin' Ken type game, they give you Pimpin' Ken type game, the only other book that I fucking know about is the one that I wrote. The game, 41 Shades of Men, the pursuit to subdue and use you. Now when you realize it's a game, you can fucking play back. They been playing your ass and you ain't been playing back. Your ass.
I don't have that book yet. The 41 Shades of Me. I don't have that book yet. I have the 5 Components of Love book. So I'm gonna have to get that one too.
Ass ain't been playing back, but I got the game to make you play back and win. See, the only way that a man can win is if you don't realize it's a game and your ass don't play. What have they tricked you with? They have tricked you with the idea of fucking love. And they was able to do it because you don't know what love actually is. But if you knew that love was this right here,
Don't hurt me.
this shit couldn't work. If you knew that love had a structure like this shit couldn't work. And then you could combine love and this, and game is fucking over. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Game is over.
Game over.
But y'all listening to too many women that don't know a goddamn thing about men. All she know how to do is whine, cry, and complain about why men ain't listen to her, why he won't pick up his dirty drawers, why is he cheating. That's all you hear. And then when they finally get a microphone in their damn hand, when they finally get a fucking microphone in their hand, they want to dedicate their show to explaining shit to men. Why the fuck is you talking to men? I know why you talking to men. Cause you're dickmatized, you're dick crazy, and you just want some penis in your life, even though it's causing you hell. Even though they don't do nothing but bring chaos into your life. You still want it, and then talking about, I just want my peace, I just want happiness. No, the fuck you don't. Because if you want a peace and you want a happiness, you wouldn't keep begging for penis. But you're still begging for penis, right? And you're still begging for them because you don't know these dudes. I know these dudes from the rooter to the goddamn tutor. And so, before we get into all this other stuff I want to talk about, I ran across a post today. And I figured that I would talk about it.
Talk about it, sis.
And I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna do you a solid. Because the post that I'm finna read, the guy is two of these. The guy is two of these.
He's two of the shades.
I know these motherfuckers.
He's two of the shades,
I know these motherfuckers.
y'all.
And I'm not scared. I'm not scared. If you get this book and you read it, and you go to my Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoder workshop and your ass get played again, you got everything you deserve. You sure did, right? Because you ain't supposed to get played no more. So let me go
Yeah, when you know better, you're supposed to do better.
ahead and pull this up. Let me show you something.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Sad, sad, sad. That's all I can say. And, you know, I gotta depend on marketing and word of mouth. I'm here to really save women's lives, but you know what? Some of them don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. And that's why they leave.
Okay.
That's why they leave, because they still want that penis. They can't take it. They can't take too much truth. Well, let me read this to you. I feel sorry for old girl. She didn't know no better.
Oh,
She didn't know no better.
Oh, y'all. What's this
Let me
story? Give
listen
us
to
the
this.
tea.
This is a
What
post I ran
happened?
across. I'm in so much pain right now.
Oh, Lord. Y'all, hold on. Okay, just the start of the story. Are y'all on the edge of your seat? I'm on the edge of my seat right now. What is that? She said, I'm in so much pain right now. My God. Whew. Okay. Oh, Lord, what's done happened? What's done happened?
I got married last year.
Okay.
Pause right there. For some reason in you ladies' mind, you really think the word married, this whole neuro-linguistic programming thing, something about the word marriage just make you feel like you didn't accomplish some shit. As a matter of fact, the word marriage, my husband, makes you feel like you are protected from male nature and protected from the world. They have sold you some bullshit about being protected by males, that you done put all of your stock into a fucking word.
Into a word.
As if marriage is gonna stop male nature. It fucking don't.
It don't. I think this is probably a good little segue to okay. Because I know like a lot of y'all are still getting to know me, so one thing that you do need to know about me is that I do not advocate for marriage, right? I don't advocate against it. I just don't advocate for it. I've been married 4 times. I am now with my forever husband. I call him my forever husband because he's a good one. He's a good one, okay? But I'm not one who's going to be pushing marriage or promoting marriage or advocating for marriage in any way. I advocate for healthy relationships. Um, and so, as long as your relationship is healthy, right? And, healthy deserves to be defined, especially in today's culture, where toxicity is promoted and is celebrated, is sung about, and it's like people are aspiring for like the most toxic relationships because that, for some reason, makes people feel like they are loved, makes them feel valued, it makes them feel like makes them feel good. But I don't advocate for that. So, I just really just wanted you guys to know that, like, as we're moving forward, we're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about marriages. We're going to be talking about, all the things, toxicity and all of that. So I do need you to know that, I am a 4 time, I've been married 4 times, y'all. And so I have a very unique perspective on marriage. And I am not one of these that's just, all wrapped up in the name or um the appearance of. So just know that.
I'm in so much pain right now. I got married last year. Before marriage, I was HIV negative. And so was my husband.
Y'all, where is the story going?
See, if you a member of my high powered tier group, you know I done expose these dudes and what they do behind the scenes. Baby, I done worked around these men. Baby, marriage don't mean shit. I done watched these dudes do some dog ass shit to their wives. But you put all your stock in the word married and my husband. Oh, for those of you don't know, yeah, I was married. Right? My husband still would like to get back with me. Right? So don't get it twisted. I had a child in wedlock. Right? So let's go ahead and cut all of that. She just mad because she ain't married. Well, you can already tell where this going. I was HIV negative, and so was my husband. You can already tell where this fucking shit
Yeah,
going.
you tell where this is going.
Just somewhere in December, my husband started seeing a young lady about 24 years old. He has saved her contact as Karen, so I presume that's her name. I cautioned him about the sort of message he is exchanging with the lady, but he got angry, saying, I am reading meanings into the whole thing. I'm gonna do you a solid, baby. I'm gonna read some of one of my chapters to you. I am reading meanings into the whole thing. He said the girl is a distant relative he met at one of his auntie's wedding
now he
in
ain't pull a
December, blah,
relative
blah,
card.
blah, and I let it slide. Stop right there. The moment that you brought the conversation to him and addressed him about it, and he got angry, that was your key. That was your clue to know he was full of shit. But because y'all just want to believe your husbands, right? Because he your husband, you're married, right? The word married and my husband makes y'all justify why you should overlook red flags.
And coincidentally, y'all, men who marry and do these types of behaviors, they know that. They know that. I'll just marry her and put that name on it, put papers on it. I'ma still do my thing. Still do what I want to do. I'ma still bring home diseases. Y'all, this is crazy.
Because you buying into bullshit and you're turning away from reality and selling yourself on staying in la la land. Oh, I gotta play this TikTok right here real quick while I say that. See, I read stuff a little bit differently because I'm gonna back up certain stuff that I say just so you know that I'm not just coming out of thin air saying this, right? So let me pull this up so y'all can hear it. Okay, let me.
Y'all, what y'all think so far?
Okay, down, further.
What y'all think so far? Y'all, this story. Woo.
Okay.
She said she got married like what, 5 months ago?
Let me flip it over here.
And both of them were negative.
Convinced that if a woman likes you, she is going to willfully lie to herself.
Well, yeah, duh. If women didn't lie to themselves, then so many of y'all would not get no pussy. And that's what dudes don't understand. Because the most dudes, pussy is still pussy. They ain't gotta like the girl, they ain't gotta be attracted to the girl. Put a bag over her head, she still got a pussy. And the pussy was good, even with that bag over her head. But it's not like that for women. A nigga with a big dick can feel like an anointing or a homicide. That all depends on how she feels about the dude. Sorry to be the one to tell you, but it ain't just your dick that drove her crazy. It's not even you that drove her crazy. It's her idea of who she thinks you are that drove her crazy. The image of the man that she sees you to be is what drove her crazy. The lie that she told herself is what drove her crazy.
The lie that she telling herself.
Her own delusions, y'all. Her own. The story that she created around the whole thing. Ooh,
y'all keep lying to yourself about men. You don't want to know the goddamn truth about them. You don't want to know the truth about men because you want to hold on to this fairy tale. But let me tell you something. The average male is not the creator of patriarchy. He is a fucking victim of patriarchy. So he cannot understand why y'all don't know men. The average male is confused as to why y'all so damn stupid. That's why he say,
I'm convinced that if a woman likes you, she is going to willfully lie to herself.
They don't know. They don't know what the top 1% has done to put y'all in an artificial environment. So they know their nature. And they don't know why you don't know your nature and you don't know theirs. And everybody keep telling you, all the males keep telling you, you delusional. But y'all want to hold on to some bullshit so bad that you will go sit and watch conversations for hours and hours. You keep making posts trying to talk to these dudes to try to get them to understand, and they ain't, because they ain't even wired to. Because you want a wild animal to live and be this fairy tale that you done created in your mind. And guess what? Because of that, this is where Pimp and Ken come in at. Let's take you for everything you got, and then here you want to come on here crying. Okay? So it is because of the lies that you tell yourself about males. Yeah. He saved her contact as Karen, so I presume that's her name. But you've been having sex with this dude, and he done left his seminal fluid in your mind, in your body. So you have a connection with this dude, so your gut feeling is telling you that he cheating. You know he cheating, but what you do? You ignore it. Why? Because he your husband. You willingly lie to yourself. You didn't think about your health at all when you willingly lied to yourself because you were married. He saved her contact as Karen, so I presume that's her name. I cautioned him about the sort of messages he is exchanging with the lady, but he got angry, saying, I am reading meanings into the whole thing. He
Yeah.
said the girl is a distant relative he met at one of his auntie's weddings in December, blah, 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 and I let it slide. Early February, I figured my husband is having an affair with the lady. I became so angry that I had to involve his mom instead of just packing your shit and leaving. After a long disagreement
Yeah.
and misunderstanding between us, he said he is letting go of the lady, which I believe he probably did. Mid of March, I realized I was pregnant, so I visited the hospital and it was confirmed that I was 3 weeks pregnant. Just this past Monday, I went to have some tests and guess what? I was confirmed HIV positive. I doubted the results, so I doubted the results, so I visited another hospital and it showed the same results. I called my husband to come have his own test that instant, and yes, he has it.
Of course.
That was when I
gave it
started
to
weeping
you.
and begging him to tell me the truth, because just before we got married in November of last
They were
year,
negative.
we were both negative.
Right.
We went to check together, sir. We even knew we would be negative, so we didn't panic.
Yeah, what y'all think? What y'all think? Oh, jeez. And I'm telling you, like it.
Am I
Sometimes we
back?
get so caught up in
Not yet.
the title and all of that stuff that we are willing to let all of the
Damn.
facts of the situation just go.
So we back.
I mean, because how many times have we all done it? Oh, not we all, but some of you all, okay, have done the same thing when it comes to like a pastor or something like that. Oh well, but that's my pastor. Because we get so caught up in the title, the role, that we are willing to excuse everything. Knowing this person is abusing, knowing this person is treating people wrong,
All
knowing
right,
that this
y'all.
person is a terrible person,
You know, I got a
but
little busybody
we'll
over
excuse
here.
it.
I got a little busybody, and she knocked my damn internet offline. Listen. Okay, we still got 307 people in here, so I'm glad that I'm glad y'all ain't go nowhere, cause I instantly got mad. I just saw I got a notification that says no longer streaming. Right? Y'all don't understand. This girl be destroying all of my stuff. Y'all don't understand. She destroyed everything. Everything. But anyway, let's get back to what we was talking about, because it was getting good, huh?
It was getting good.
It was getting good, wasn't it?
It was.
I think it was getting good,
It
because
was. It
I
definitely
felt
was.
my energy going up, and I was like, damn girl, you tripping.
Yeah.
You're tripping. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to save y'all life. I really am trying to save y'all life. If you let me, though. I'll save your life if you let me. But
You know, I've gotten to the point where I have, come to the understanding that some people just won't, you know. She said, I'm trying to save your life if you let me, and some people just won't. Some of those people who just won't are like people who are close to you, like your family members, other women that you care about like deeply, and they just won't. And it may get to a point, for some of us where we have to sever ties with those women because we realize that we cannot continue to, give them our energy. We cannot continue to, try and try and try and try and try, when they are resistant. So I have come to like this place where I know that there are some, how people, you probably heard this before. It was like, well, not everybody can go, not everybody's gonna be able to go. They can't go with you. And some people you will have to leave behind. Some people, as you cut off the religious narcissist, the narcissist in your life, the abuser, you have to cut ties with them too. Because not cutting ties with that person who is still tied to the narcissist means that you're still tied to. Then it becomes a triangulation, then there's other things that you have to consider. And even though, like, I feel like times like that are nearing for people who are close to me, I don't know. It's like I'm a little bit like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where I'm not happy about it, but it's like it is what it is, you know? And sometimes it's like you realize that you're just gonna have to save yourself and let other people figure it out or whatever they do. Let's continue.
Baby, you cannot hold the same beliefs that you've been holding and think your life is going to change. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. Right? Right? Y'all got self-esteem issues and ego issues so much that you want a male to make you feel special. Right? You want a male to make you feel special. Z Noir, welcome to the ark. You want him to make you feel special. So you willing to eat up anything that they say. A ring? It don't matter. You willing to buy anything just because it's a fucking dude. And you wanna stunt on another woman, right? You want to feel like you more special and better than another woman. That's the reason why you want marriage. Cut the games. That's the reason why you want marriage, because you want to flex on another fucking woman. And you ignore the reality and the nature of a male. And so because you married, you don't even take no damn precautions to protect yourself sexually. You think you your husband without no condoms, don't you? But you don't know what I know about him. That's why you think you can do that, because you don't know what I know about him. You go in believing, and then you open yourself up to all kind of harm. Right? So let's get back to it.
Sad but true, y'all. Sad but true.
So she got HIV now, right? And his stupid ass didn't wear a condom and didn't pull out, or he pulled out, right? He said she is the only lady he has been with since we got married.
The distant
For some
relative,
reason, y'all
right?
think marriage gonna protect you from. And then you silly enough to get mad at him. Well, you knew he was married. I mean, y'all gotta be psychotic. You knew he was married. No, ma'am, he knew he was married. It ain't nobody else's responsibility to control a male but the male. But you can't control them, and then you marry somebody who don't have no self-respect, no self-control, and then you want to get mad at the world.
Excuse me.
Because you married a wild animal. Because you want to feel special. Baby, this is you. This is you. This ain't nobody else's fault and nobody else's problem but yours and your beliefs. Because what he say? I'm convinced that if a woman like you, she'll just willingly lie to herself. Yes, you fucking do. Right?
And you know what's even, adding to that, coming from the perspective of, being the daughter of a narcissistic pastor. I have seen, this kind of like what I would call like this toxic belief system where people will lie to themselves about who the religious not like. For instance, right? I'm just gonna let me just say it like I'm gonna say it, okay, chat? Because look, we in a different space now, so I just got to keep it 100% real with y'all, okay? Let's talk about my mother and my father, right? So my father was a pastor, is a pastor still, and my mom was a pastor, and I would see how my mother would say positive things, like about my father. Just knowing good and doggone well. It's like, no, ma'am, this is not the reality of the situation. But there's this scripture in the Bible that says, well, speak those things that be not as though they were, right? And so I don't know if that the thinking. I believe that that was her thinking. It's like if I speak it, right, then maybe I don't know, like maybe I tricked myself. That's what it ended up being. She was just really gaslighting herself. She was really lying to herself because that just was not the reality of the situation. And I would see this, growing up and watching my mom, and I was the only girl. And I have four brothers, and I would see how my mom would just be like, just saying like these positive things and like, just talking about how my father was as a husband. And I'm just like, um, are we talking about the same? We talking about the same person here? It's like you're willfully lying to yourself, but you're putting a religious spin on it. You're putting the Bible scripture on it to speak those things that be not as though they were, as if you're going to manifest this man that he just simply is not. He's not this person. He's not this righteous pastor. He's not this good husband. He's not a good father. He's a terrible person. So why are you using the Bible to gaslight and lie to yourself? I'm telling y'all, I have gone through this whole like this whole like thing, right? This whole roller coaster, I guess, of trying to figure out exactly what I believe. Because I could see, and I talk about my mom in a fairly good light, because I think that as far as like what I saw growing up, I saw like an evil pastor and I saw a good one, right? And I consider them to be like the devil and the angel. My father being the devil, of course, and my mom being the angel, right? And so I saw these dynamics between them. I would see how he would be manipulating people in the pulpit, right? And then she would come behind him and like soften what he said, right? Because he would come with this dogmatic way and he would be talking to people and talk about being cursed. And this was happening a lot like just before I had left the church in 2019. And I would see him come up and he would be like, y'all going to hell. And, I mean, he would say stuff. I mean, he even cussed. I mean, he was praying for somebody and called this lady a bitch in a prayer, y'all. Like, really? Like, who does that? You know? But then my mom would come up behind him and try to soften it, like God loves you, and and I'm just God loves me. God loves him some me. And God loves you, and what I'm saying? She would like come with this like this delusion, this lie, this gas. It's like, what are you doing here? What is happening here? And so I would see these dynamics play out in the church, and I would see them play out at home. It was like he came in with destruction and she came in as the cleanup crew. And I believe that her intentions were good, but like that wasn't really what came of it. That wasn't the outcome. The outcome was really just more deception. And so I went through this whole thing where I was just like, I don't even like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be a Christian. Like, I don't, what is this? Like, what is this madness that is happening where you can actually see in reality that this person is terrible, but you don't want to admit it because your belief, your religion won't let you believe what you can clearly see. I never agreed with the whole, like, if you're sick, well, don't say it because you're claiming it. But no, I'm sick. So what you mean? Like, I need to go to the doctor. I need to do some things. There's some actions that need to take place. But the first action is me admitting what is happening right now. If I never admit that I feel sick, then I'm never going to do the work that is required to get well. And I was a child when I was realizing this and seeing this dynamic. Like, what the heck is going on here? What is going on here? This is madness. But if you say it and you claiming it, and it's like, then that's gonna all of a sudden make me sick. But I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? This doesn't make no sense. But then when you put it when you apply that same principle to like a relationship or a person, right? It's easier for you to, kind of acquiesce to that. Like when you feel a sickness in your body, it's like maybe, you know what I'm saying, you wrestle with it like I should be admitting it so I can go and do what I need to do to get well. But when it comes to a person, a relationship, or, everybody wants to believe that, people have the capacity, the ability to change, right? Never even considering if that person even has the desire. So we lie to ourselves. We gaslight our own selves, and then we apply the scripture to it to validate what we're doing. And I don't think that my mom ever realized, well, I told her at one point, but I don't think before then she ever realized just how much damage she was really doing to me personally, because I would see a woman who could not admit, could not face, could not confront what everybody else was saying, those who, weren't deceived by my father, that you are married to a madman. And at some point, you're just going to have to admit that. Or, I mean, maybe you won't. But until you do, there won't be any change. And maybe that change means you got to walk away. But then I think a lot of people don't want to admit it, because then admitting it means that they have to do other things. That means that that's just action number one. That's just step one. But they know that after that there are more steps, and they just simply don't want to take those steps. My mother was one of those people that I had to come to the realization that leaving my father and the church and all of the things that he was doing meant that I would have to cut her off too, because she was still tied. And as long as she was tied and I didn't want to let her go, then that meant that I'm still tied to him as well. And that just simply was not good for my health. And now that I think about it, and I think about how, you know, this religion and, the way people believe, like if you claim it, then it's really happening or something like that. I don't know, whatever. How many people do you think probably died under that belief? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really think about it. Because, I mean, when you have to admit that you're sick before you actually go to the doctor, I mean, because, like, if you're not going to admit you're sick, what you want the doctor for? The doctor, like, okay, what's going on with you? But you don't want to say because you don't want to claim it. What? So, how many people died under that belief system? That's something to think about. And then you think, if it's on that level, then how many women died because they didn't want to, they wouldn't admit that they were married to a madman. Whew. As the story unfolds, let's see if we can get a little more down to this story, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, and we're gonna do a part 2. Oh, let's keep going, y'all.
Anyway, the girl has told him the truth that she already knew she was HIV positive.
Oh God, y'all. The girl already knew. So she's infected 3 other people at least, because she infected him, affected her, and remember, she went to the hospital and found out she was 3 weeks pregnant, y'all. And she already knew.
That's why she insisted he use a condom.
Y'all, I can't take it, Jesus. She insisted that he use a condom, but obviously he insisted that he not. I can't take it. I can't take it, Jesus. Oh, I can't take it.
So, based on the way that sentence is structured, it's likely that the girl didn't tell him she had HIV. She knew she had it. She didn't tell him, but she just kept insisting he wear a condom without divulging the information that she was HIV positive.
Right.
Because I doubt that if she would have told him that he would have went in her raw and then pulled out as if he was protecting himself. Right? But since males are dumb and their whole objective is to have sex, that's the number one goal, baby, marriage is a social construct. It's a fictitious human creation that has no bearing on the biological nature of humans. So you are crazy if you think a piece of paper and a fucking word is gonna stop the human behavior of males trying to pass their genes along. That's hardwired into them, right? And some of y'all think that you can be like males, right? Because you believe males are superior to you. So you stoop to the level of a male and then you try to do what he do. Making shit worse. Because you don't know what it means to be a woman, right? You don't actually know what it means to be feminine because your whole idea of femininity is bringing yourself down to make yourself easier prey. Because you listen to male identified femininity coaches who try to appeal to males. Baby, femininity don't appeal to males. Femininity is free and do what the fuck it want to do.
Period.
Not what the male wants it to do. You understand? So if you listening to any femininity coach trying to get you to appeal to a male, you listening to a fucking liar. You listen to a dummy who don't know what she's talking about.
Agreed.
That's why she insisted he use a condom, blah, 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 but he refused. Me, I have left the marriage. I am done with him. His family is on my neck as if I did something. Hit pick me ism. And I bet it's his mama that's on your
Not
neck.
that same mama. Not the same mama. She, not the same mama. That she tried to get the help of make him stop. Make him stop. Make him throw that girl number away. Talking about a distant relative. I was like, oh, this chicken a bug. A distant relative. Child, bye.
See, women got this real funny thing about taking up for their deadbeat sons. Because everybody is indoctrinated with patriarchal philosophy. So fuck the woman.
Y'all won't find me doing that, child. I got 2 sons. I do not vouch for any man, including my sons. Won't do it. Because I can't. Like, I can't righteously do that. And I will definitely not. I would, man, please. Let's keep going.
I bet it was his mama, the number one, right? His family is on my neck as if I did something. Will going back to him undo the harm? Ma'am, why are you asking this question?
Why is she asking this question, y'all? She like, oh, well, he already infected me, so yeah, may as well go back. What?
You asking this question because you have been poisoned with patriarchal philosophy. You don't know your value. You don't know your worth or your place on this earth. So only a person who is insecure, confused about why they're here, who they are, would ask a question like,
what did I tell y'all in the beginning of the video? I told y'all. That is their design, is to keep you from knowing who you are, why you're here, your purpose, why you were created. That's the whole point that the narcissist is doing to you, the religious narcissist. And because this is centered around a marriage, which you take vows in a church, like, it all speaks to the same thing. It's all under the religious guise, under that religious umbrella.
will going back to him undo the harm? Ma'am, last time I checked, HIV was incurable.
That's why she asked.
It's manageable, but incurable.
She like, well,
can you undo that? No, ma'am. Can you undo the trust? What's the question? What's the nature of this question? Will it fix my life? You, at this point, I don't even think you really want to answer to this question. You just want validation. You just want to be heard. Because I know you don't mean, I know you're not serious about these questions.
She's serious.
Will it fix my life? Just 5 months of marriage and you ruined my entire life because you banked on a word and you didn't bank on the nature of a male.
Then it comes down to, I'll need a safe face, if I get divorced now, then, it's going to look, like it's going to be a whole bunch of reasons why she's going to validate in her mind that she just may as well stay. But what? Why? I mean, I'm still at the part of like, why you ain't take action at the onset, at the onset of the problem. Them inappropriate conversations. But then, now, I see it being much worse, even much worse than what she's already dealt with.
I will just poison him if they dare convince me to go back. I regret everything. You're going to have to take this as a life lesson.
One of them hard ones.
Now is not the time to regret something that you can't change. Now is the time to figure out where you went wrong. It's time to analyze what the fuck you did wrong. But women don't analyze what the fuck they did wrong. They get angry, they bottle it up, and then they go out and look for another male because they think they chose wrong.
But see, now she doesn't have the ability, at least in her mind, she doesn't have the ability to go and look for another male. So she's just going to say, well, I should just go back because I have an incurable disease. So I may as well just stay with the person who gave it to me because we both got it. That's her logic. She doesn't want to actually self-reflect. And Princella is right about this. That is a problem that a lot of women have. We do not self-reflect. We don't want to acknowledge where we went wrong. So she's talked about all of the things that the dude did wrong. She called him out when the first conversation happened. He lied. He got mad. She went to his mom. All of the things. But she never actually reflected on her own behavior that got her in this position. And until and unless you reflect, you do some self-reflection, you acknowledge your part in your situation, you will repeat it. You'll repeat it. And she'll repeat it even with him. If you think that, if she thinks that because she has HIV now, that it can't get worse than that with him, that's another lie she's telling herself. That's another delusion.
Because you know why you think you chose wrong? Because you too busy listening to fucking predators. You're too busy listening to a predator. Well, so I love it. I was laughing. I think Sister Yanni got I don't know her audience. I don't know the nature of her audience. But I know she has to word things in a way to not, whatever her audience is and their belief systems, I know she has to word things in a way that don't send them out the stratosphere, that make them mad. So, but when she said that I'm extreme, I laughed. Because what I'm saying is not extreme, sweetie. What I'm saying is just a flat out raw truth. Right? Now you get these stories all day, every day. You look at the world and see who it's run by. All of these areas around the world are patriarchal. They're run by males. The government is majority male. Your religions are patriarchal religions. If we want to talk about extreme, baby, male domination is extreme. But me telling the flat out truth, raw truth, there is no extremism in this. Let me show you extreme, though. Let me show you extreme.
Oh, yeah, I think we're going to end it right here. Yeah. We're going to end it right here. And then we're going to pick back up at the, what is that, like the 55, 30 minute mark. The next time we come back, which will probably be tomorrow, I have some I'm gonna be doing some pre-recorded videos and some and visiting a sorority sister of mine whose mother passed away tomorrow. So I'm trying to figure out exactly when I'm going to be um going live again to discuss this video, but I'm thinking probably tomorrow evening time. Um, so I want you guys to come back and, make sure that you like the video. Let me know what you think about, what she has discussed so far. Now, as she progresses in this video, she's going to get into a bit of the religion. So I'm going to, really be putting some context on what she is saying. Just based on my perspective, you guys, as, the daughter of a pastor. And, I've been around this my whole life. I was born into it. You guys know, I've told you before that, if you know gospel artist Dietrich Haddon, that is my first cousin. That is my um, my father's sister. That's her son. And so, I come from a family of gospel artists, of religious leaders, pastors, prophets, apostles, um, all the things. Okay, all the things, child. Um, so, I have a lot of insight into this, and and I uncovered and discerned, this spiritual abuse and contributed to the spiritual abuse tactics. Initially, there were 13 spiritual abuse tactics, and through my experience and my research, I added an additional tactic, which is objectification, um, which is what we are seeing in these experience in what Princella is talking about, and a lot of these experiences or these situations that we've been seeing out, in the world, is that this concept of objectification that we a lot of people, those who are being abused, which tends to be women and children, are seen as objects, are seen as tools for the religious narcissist, the abuser to use, and discard. um and so, we'll put more context onto that, as we progress through this video and as I progress into telling more of my story. But I thank you guys for following, and if you haven't noticed, I renamed the channel to the Kingdom Code podcast, right? And code stands for Community of Daughters Everywhere. Also stands for Community of Discerners Everywhere. So, I have a passion for daughters, like myself. And my message is centered around discernment and really teaching you how to discern, how to decipher the truth from the almost truth, the truth from the falsehood, you know, the real person, the authentic from the fake, from the facade, from the mask. And right now, we simply, as a collective, do not have the ability to do that. And it is killing us. It's killing us. And so we have to do some self-reflection here. But not only that, but we have to actually work towards activating our discernment, using it, analyzing these types of cases, these stories that Princella is sharing, the stories that I am sharing, and actually using these stories to increase our discernment abilities. So that way, as we move about in our day-to-day lives, wherever we are, whoever we interact with, whatever decisions we need to make, that we are better equipped to make wise decisions. Okay. So that is, that's my underlying message. And so please subscribe to my channel, like the video, get in the comments and let me know what you think. Is any of this resonating with you? I love to hear your thoughts. You can drop me a line at, I have to put my contact information in there. It's in the it's on my YouTube channel. I've been updating all of this stuff, and also on my Facebook channel. So if you're watching me from Facebook, hey y'all. make sure that you like and follow and all the things over there as well. Okay. I love you guys. And it's been a long time since I've sung to y'all. Okay. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I love you guys.